On modern fighters and attack aircraft, the weapons are aimed through a sight called the heads-up display, located in front of the pilot. This displays most of the critical flight information and aiming points. On the Spectre, the HUD is located on the side instead of in front of the pilot.
Well, the HUD is what we use to aim the weapons. With the computer-generated symbols that we get from the HUD through the computer that's located back near the fire control officer station, that's how we aim the guns. That's when I'm shooting the weapons on this aircraft, I'm basically looking into a black hole. I can't see anything on the ground. We're firing, at altitudes that I can't distinguish ground references. I can't distinguish the target at all. But the sensors are able to see it, and their information is fed into the fire control computer, and that in turn generates the symbols on the HUD, and I use that to aim with. Once I get the symbols matched up on the HUD, then I can fire the weapons.
The pilot's decision to fire must be verified by the sensor operator to make sure that the guns are aiming in the right direction. If the pilot makes a mistake, the computer intervenes.
In that case, the computer simply prevents us from firing unless we have the proper firing solution. We work very closely with the sensors on that. Whichever sensor we're using, the TV or the infrared, it's kind of a chicken and egg question. The pilot pushes the trigger, and then when the sensor determines that he is locked onto the target, and the gun is at that point following the camera around, they are locked in by the computer. When he decides that he is locked onto the target, he pushes his consent button, and the gun will go off.
The night alone cannot protect the Spectre. Even the smallest and least advanced armies now employ radar-directed anti-aircraft guns and infrared-guided missiles. The Spectre defends itself from these threats electronically. It has sensors located around the aircraft to pick up the electronic signals of radar-directed guns that might be homing in on it. And under the aircraft are missile warning receivers. It is the job of the Spectre's electronic warfare officer to determine how the aircraft should respond to each threat. Some enemy weapons cannot be detected electronically, in which case human eyesight must be used to defend the Spectre. At the side of the aircraft sits one of the observers, and in the tail sits another, looking through a plexiglass bubble. These observers have learned from experience what enemy fire looks like.
For example, a surface-to-air missile, you'll see a bright light, basically the launch. Then the missile coming up, you'll see the plume, the aft end of the missile, which is more of a corkscrew type action coming up at you, and they're quick. They're very quick. On AAA, the gunners, they use tracers to direct their fire on different size tracers for different size AAA coming up. For example, it's more of a lines of BBs coming up at you, red BBs, and that's very, very quick. It's also very, very dangerous, very accurate.
It is the experience of crewmen like these that has made the Spectre so formidable a weapon system. The U.S. Air Force Special Ops Squadrons are among the most elite combat units in the world. Whether it's delivering troops deep behind enemy lines or concentrating awesome firepower in close proximity to friendly forces, these airmen undertake America's most critical missions.